All right, let me sit on the edge of the seat here. Okay, live.
Yes. Yay!
All right. Are we live? Babe, check the phone. I want to make sure before I get the hype. Like, let's see. Can you see it, Shemaiah, if it's live or not, or no?
I see it on my end, yes.
Okay. All right, babe, open up. I want to say hello to the people. Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me again. Me and my girl, Shemaiah, are here live to encourage some of you all. Because as you know, a lot of us, right? I'm not just going to say a lot of you all, a lot of us, we've been going through so much transition, so many disruptions have taken place over the past few months. And I mean, some of us, we've been experiencing disruptions in general before COVID hit. And so as a result, I just said, okay, me and Shemaiah said, let's get together and have a talk about that, because what do you do in the midst of times where it can be overwhelming because there are so many disruptions, so many stop signs on your way to living in your full purpose, doing the things that God has called you to do, right? As we know, the pathway is not laced with a perfected, clear street, right? There's always disruptions and stop signs as we go. So here we are live to bring some encouragement on a Wednesday. Who, are home and that need the encouragement, we are here. So I'm Nova Scott, for those of you who are joining in maybe from Shemaiah's page. And then Shemaiah, introduce yourself and encourage the people a little bit.
Hi everyone, my name is Shemaiah Monique Jones. I am, I'm sorry, I have other stuff going. Okay, I am founder and CEO of Crown 31. I am a serial entrepreneur, speaker, and mentor. And my purpose, my life's journey, and what God has called me to do is simply help women build purpose and profitable lives. And I'm so excited to join my sister. I'm telling you, y'all, we have amazing, amazing conversations, whether on the phone but I'm just so excited to be with my sister, who is a powerhouse. So listen, y'all in for a treat. Y'all in for a treat.
Just to get your notebooks, okay? And get your questions ready. Feel free to comment, to like, share with somebody you feel that may also need the encouragement. And then on top of that, as you know, as we're conversing and we're talking, write down your questions in your notebook, and then at the end, just shoot them up, because we're gonna have a Q&A after this session, okay?
Right.
So let's dive in, all right? Because like I said, we talked about the fact that, the fact is there's a lot of people who are experiencing a lot of stops. There are some who are experiencing, green lights, and it's amazing. Everybody in the same category, as if everybody is going through the same struggle, because as individuals, we all are experiencing a lot of different things right now, right? Today I wanted to encourage, and we wanted to encourage those who are going through the hard time. You started off in this journey, and then maybe you were seeing an increase and a overflow in your business right before the pandemic hit, and then it stand still, and now you're finding yourself in a cloudy moment. So you could start out by talking, share with us like some of the things that you've gone through within this past year, and how have you pivoted and move forward in the midst where things were seeming so dark and seeming like stop, do not go. All right, go ahead.
Last year, so a little bit about my business background. I started with two online stores, online boutiques. I had a shoe boutique, and then I had a clothing boutique. And the one thing about purpose is that it is undeniable. It is, you cannot run away from your purpose. And no matter how much you try to suppress it, it always pops up and pops up. And literally last year, that is what kept happening. I was afforded so many opportunities with the online boutique. So many doors were open. I was able to do LA Fashion Week a couple times in 1 year. And it was just amazing how I was seeing all of the opportunities, but God literally had me in a place, or I had myself in a place where I just felt so unfulfilled. And I would just wake up every morning and just cry. And I felt so just in a place of unclarity. It was just, it was a very sunken place. And I really felt like, okay, what am I doing? What is going on? Why am I feeling this way? I'm able to have the opportunities. Are you calling me to greater, Lord? So it literally became a pivot. And one of the things I've learned about a pivot, before you pivot, there's a stop. And we think that when we pivot, that means we don't stop, we just turn. But when you pivot, there's an initial stop. And I always tell people, like, look, my initial stop was the Holy Spirit really working with me at that moment. Like, there was a time when the Holy Spirit was like, I need you to stop this online business. I need you to be still, and I need you to listen to what is the next direction, what's next on the agenda. And literally during this time, he gave me, just making a long story short, during this time, he gave me the entire vision for this business. And in that moment, I felt like, well, Lord, did I do the wrong thing to starting this online business, starting the boutique? Did I do the wrong thing? And the Lord was like, no, you didn't do the wrong thing. That was just part of the vision. It wasn't your purpose. And I need you fully operating in your purpose. And your purpose is to help other women find their purpose, and not just their purpose, but how to make it profitable. And that pivot came January 22nd, 2020. And what was so crazy was that literally 2 months later, we were hit with this pandemic, and I was in position at the right time, in the right place, in purpose, and ready to just shift and serve. So I just felt like,
I wanted to interject right there because that's a very vital thing. And I want to talk to some of you all out there, right? As we are discussing pivoting and the fact that there's a stop, okay? With transition. And I remember back in 2019, where I had this dream, and God was like, it's the year of acceleration. And then I did a study on what accelerate really means. And so a lot of times in our churchy brains, we are like, yeah, you know, but when I studied the true definition of what acceleration means, what I found in the sense of the scientific term, the physics term, because the Holy Spirit was like, study more on what acceleration means. Don't get like this, like, oh yeah, it's about, no. So as I was studying, and I taught at church, you know, what acceleration meant, but one thing I found, the three things I found with acceleration, right? Acceleration, when you're accelerating, you could be doing one of three things. You could be speeding up, you could be slowing down, you could be stopping to change directions.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And so I just thought that was so interesting, because a lot of times, you know, when God is getting ready to, and like you said, when God is getting ready to transition us into the next step, because I wouldn't say that what you did prior to that was not purpose.
Right.
I also want to talk to somebody who's watching and listening, because there's a lot of times where, and I talked about this last night on my live, where God does not give us all the steps, right? You'll get fire and a turning on the inside of you to feel like there's something more. And you can start on the journey, or you could start trying to go in the direction that you think he has for you. But this is the open door, and the open door sometimes looks nothing like what you're thinking it's supposed to look like, but that is a point of preparation. So I want those of you who are watching as well, right? Who maybe you're like, man, you know, am I in my purpose right now? Many different times, if God does not open the door and mark the way clear cut for you, the door that he has given you access to and the things that you are doing, many times are often those are often opportunities for growth that he has allowed you to enter into, so that you can now graduate and take on the next thing. Because I'm sure if you had not gone through, you know, prior to, with the boutiques and the different lessons you have to learn and the mistakes, that you would not be prepared to walk so gracefully in this new season. So I just want to, just in case somebody is listening, that they know there's purpose is all around us sometimes. And a lot of times the things that we look down on, like our jobs, you know, and the doors of access that God has allowed us to walk through sometimes that are not desirable, it's not shiny, but sometimes are the very places that God has designed for us to prepare, to build and to develop and to grow, so that we can expand into the territory that he truly desires. But the sometimes it's not the lack of purpose, it's just preparation. So you can continue. I was just
but that was so good that you said that, because like while you were talking, like the Lord is like basically saying you have purpose within purpose, because there's a purpose for every, like you said, for every single thing that we go through, and every single thing that, you know, we have an opportunity to have a journey on. And even in me doing what was a hobby, I felt like, oh, you know, I love shopping. I didn't like doing the clothes part. I didn't like doing the business part. I liked shopping. But even in that, even in all of that part of my business, there was a purpose. I learned how to grow a business. I learned how to start a business. Then I was able to teach other women how to start a business. I was able to learn the ins and outs of a lot of the fashion industry and wholesaling. And I literally within that time began to master my craft in order to step into another dimension of my life or another level of my life. So there's a purpose within your purpose. A lot of times we kind of feel, you know, lost, and we kind of feel like there's no clarity. But ask God, like, okay, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of me feeling untroubled and, you know, feeling like I don't have clarity? Because there's always a purpose. And then when he takes you to that pivot, it's all going to make sense.
Exactly.
It's all going to make sense.
I was gonna say, I remember when I first started my business, like back like almost 6 years ago, right? When I first started BC Nova Marie, I remember right before that we were on this journey because we had transitioned. We moved from Houston to California. Then I was pregnant. I had 3 kids, and then I was lost in just the nurturing aspect. Even though our children serve a great purpose, and that is a part of our purpose, is how we nurture them up into being, you know, outstanding people in society, and also raising them in such a way where they can fulfill their kingdom assignment. But it's so, of course, I got so lost in mothering. I got so lost in, you know, doing all that and comfortable in hiding behind pushing a stroller, and you know, because there's no need for me to literally, you know, pour into anybody but my kids, right? I got so hidden and content in that time, in that season. And then also at that time, you know, pushing and motivating my husband, because one of my gifts is encouragement, right? So you tell me you're doing anything, I'm probably on your case more than you are on your case about it. Like, did you do it? Come on, let's get it, right? Because that's just me. That's a part of what out of me. When I get excited for people, I love to push. I'm like the party girl, right? For push party. And so I got so lost in even supporting him. Like, okay, babe, come on, you know, write that book, you know, okay, your book is launched. Yes, you know, awesome. I got so lost in the kids that after a while, it's like God started stirring on me, and I started getting, like what you said, frustrated and irritated, you know, with, you know, with where I was at. I was like, I know my children are my purpose, but there's more. I'm not supposed to be doing more than this. And it's not to knock the person who is the homemaker like I was, like I am right now, and the person who all they're doing now is focusing on their children. Some people, you know, that's their passion, and that's their sole thing that God has called them to do, is pour into these children. So I'm not knocking those that I'm
Amen. Right.
For you, it's awesome, okay, because I've done it for all three of my children until they all went to kindergarten, okay?
Yeah.
But I felt like a stirring, and I was so discontent, you know, where I was like, there's something in me that I'm supposed to be giving out into the earth. There are people that I'm supposed to be helping, but here I'm like in my comfort zone, hiding behind my children and my stroller. My stroller, but there is more to do. Because like literally I went mute for a season of just hiding, is what I'm saying, where I was hiding. I didn't want to have to deal with the people part of purpose, you know?
So you talking.
Because you know that's the part. I remember one time I was like, Lord, like, man, I'm a believer, but I'd be an awesome believer in Christ if there was no people. Then
right.
But you get what I'm saying? So I was hiding from the people part of purpose, because I knew based off of what I've experienced is that there are cuts, there's scrapes, there's bruises, there's a lot of heartache and sorrow that comes with the people part of purpose. But the bottom line of purpose is it will always deal with serving people. So no matter what you do, you can't get around it. You know, let me create this. You'll always have to deal with people, because God's intent for breathing purpose into you is to make your community and the lives of the people that you touch, you got to bring to another level. Because God breathes in you, that same breath goes into those people. Touch them. Your stamp should leave them better than they came to you. You understand what I'm saying? I was so just like, I'm not dealing with all that. You know, listen. The only people that's going to talk to me, my husband and my kids. You understand? And my kids, I'm gonna tell them what to do and move on. You understand me? So saying all that to say, but there was a stirring. There was a you know, where I couldn't do this anymore because I can't go to sleep. I'm up at night, you know. And, while everybody's sleeping, my mind is stirring and my heart is stirring. Like there has to be more. And so a lot of times, as we talk about pivoting, that's where God starts dealing with us, you know, so that we can shift from one thing to the next. Was my season of mothering, was that time like, oh no, she's not in purpose? No, because like I said, our children, we have purpose in that, you know? There is a purpose in raising up the next generation. You get what I'm saying? And so in that season, God was teaching me patience, which I swore up and down, oh, you're so patient, you're so this. Go have you multiple kids and see how patient that gift, the fruit of the spirit is. You know, you get what I'm saying? There's purpose in that. But now when God was like, okay, now it's time for the next step, is when he started stirring. And many of you on here, right? You may be feeling this stirring, you know, and you know, because you've been through a transitional point at some point in your life where you have felt the stirred from one thing that was, it used to be comfortable, but now it's not. Right? Now, I just wanted to.
You know what? That's so. You know, like I said, because we had our talking points, but I already told you, like, I already told you God was gonna move in and do what He was gonna do. But when you were talking about how you were hiding behind, you know, your children and your husband, and even though that was your purpose. I think a lot of times we have to remember, especially in this pandemic, is to not get purpose and comfortability confused, right? Like we can be in purpose, but a lot of us don't want to be uncomfortable. A lot of us want to hide behind, okay, well, this is my purpose, but a lot of times God is calling us to more. And in this pandemic, a lot of us are comfortable. You know, a lot of us are just doing what, you know, we're just doing the bare minimum. And God is saying, no, I'm calling you to more. And that was me a year ago. I was doing what was comfortable. And when you were talking about how you didn't want to deal with people, man, I told God, and the funny thing about us is 9 times out of 10, we know what our purpose is. We know what we're supposed to be doing, but we try to play God and tell God, okay, but my purpose isn't going to bring me provision, or my purpose isn't going to bring me opportunity, you know? So I don't want to deal with having to be accountable for myself. I don't want to have to deal with, and that was me. I told God, look, I don't want to deal with women. No, not me. You know, I didn't want to have to live a life that I had to hold myself accountable for, because I wanted to think how I wanted to think. I wanted to talk to God whenever I wanted to talk to God. I wanted to pray whenever I wanted to pray. Like, I wanted to be comfortable, you know, and in that season, God was saying, no, it's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to hold yourself accountable. You are now accountable for other women's lives. And I think we have to get out of this comfortability piece. You know, especially as women, we get so comfortable behind just the, you know, oh, I'm a mom. So that's it. You know, I'm accountable for my children. And absolutely, from the day that they're born to the day that they, you know, are in their resting place, we are accountable for our children. We are purposed to our children's lives, but God is calling us to more. He's calling us to more than just being wives and our, you know, husbands, significant other, and just having the title of wife. You know, God is pulling us into greater, and you got to get out of that comfortability. If you are comfortable, 9 times out of 10, you are not operating in your full purpose. You're not operating in your full purpose.
Because you're not maximizing. The thing about it is, right? There's a scripture or a saying that says God takes us from glory to glory and from strength to strength.
Yes.
Now, when you're stagnant, there is no growth, because there is nothing requiring you or putting that pull or that pressure on you for you muscles to be developed. And it's just like if you're going to develop muscles or you're going to that toned body, resistance is needed and necessary in order for there to be development and for there to be growth and for you to go to the next level. So that's why comfort zones are very dangerous. There is no demand for you to be pulled on. There is no demand, no real and true resistance or demand for growth. Because when you're comfortable, you're doing something that you know you can do it in your sleep. You can press that autopilot and you can operate without even giving much thought. But now purpose now, because it's way more extravagant and bigger than you and your abilities and the things that you know you went to school for. It's way bigger than the things that you can naturally do, because it's a God thing. It requires more, another level of it just resistance with it, you know. And part of it is the resistance, and so that's how you can know. That's the earmark. Where you know, wait, am I really and truly walking in the perfect will of God? Because right now if I look back to 2018, I am the same exact person. I have not done maximize the capacity and stretch me beyond you know what I know in the natural or my capabilities, right? And so let's segue into, because I feel like there's a lot of people in this season sitting on gifts, talents, and callings, because like I said, you know, number one, comfortability. Number two, you know, the dis-ease of this time, you know, are causing people to I guess like run into a shell or hide in what they know, you know, until things go back to normal. You know? And so I want to talk about the fact that, okay, how can we unearth some of these things in this season? Because like I said, there's a lot of people that are covered in comfort, you know? And so let's talk about that. What are some things, right? And I'll add some sprinkles to it, because like I'm in the midst of doing this myself now. What are some things that we can do as individuals to enhance where we're going? So the door may be closed. There may be a stoppage right now in certain things that you were able to do. You know, there's certain businesses that can't operate the way they used to, right? Because of certain laws and rules and regulations. But what can we do as individuals to still add value and enhance ourselves so that when, you know, things shift, we are prepared and ready to run through the doors and the hoops of fire, right? So let's talk about that.
Right. I think the first thing is, you know, especially as a believer and a Christian entrepreneur, the first thing is you have to totally surrender. You have to admit and you have to acknowledge that there needs to be a pivot. I need to pivot, you know, in my business. Even in this pandemic, I'm not allowed to host events, or I'm not allowed to, you know, sit with my clients, you know, face to face, whatever that looks like. So you have to first acknowledge that in my business, within myself, there needs to be a pivot. And then you go ahead and you make that pivot. You make the necessary changes within your life. I know for myself, one of the things I had to do was completely turn my business into a digital brand. Most of my business is hands-on products. It's live events, and I could do none of that. So once I made this pivot into this business and the pandemic hit, everything that I had planned as far as launching products and, you know, an apparel line and all of this, like, it had to be shut down. So then I had to really go and say, okay, I need to pivot. That's another thing. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Do not stay there. I could have easily said, well, I can't launch my collection. Oh, well, you know, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Take actionable steps. You know what your business needs in this season in order to make that shift. So within that, I didn't stop. I said, okay, well, how can I make this profitable still? And I went into prayer and I said, okay, Lord, take me deeper into my purpose. Take me deeper into what it is that you called me to do. How can I make that profitable and still be in the realm of service? So I had to, like I said, turn my brand into it was completely digital. It's been completely digital since March. So my live events became virtual events. I've added services. I've added recently courses and virtual coaching. So you just have to go. You have to put your foot on the gas and you have to go. You have to acknowledge that there needs to be a pivot and you have to take actionable steps. Do not get stuck. Don't stop.
So you hear that, ladies?
Give up.
The gents were listening, so you hear that, right? The fact is, none of us have any excuse of why we cannot move forward in the midst of in any disruption comes, because guess what? If not COVID-19, if not riots, if not any of that stuff, there will be something else once this passes. There will be something else. There's always different situations and scenarios that arise in order to come to tell you, no, stop, you know? And the ones who become highly successful are those who find a way. They're able to bust through the door by using and I always say this in my lives, you know, using the intelligent brain that God has blessed us with. We are intelligent. Let me stop here to speak to somebody's life that is watching. You are not stupid. You are smart. You are intelligent. You have a beautiful imagination that God has blessed you with. You are more than capable to do all that God has called you to do. When you partner with him, nothing is impossible and nothing is able to stop what God can build through you if you will just submit and surrender and just say yes and go and allow him to form and shape you. So none of us are exempt from moving forward. We have to move forward. And I know for me, like what you're talking about, I know for me, like, you know, and I always tell this to my live listeners, I started with and you remember, because we were doing boutiques. I had the fashion show. After my last fashion show in 2018, I was just literally, there was no passion. I was like, I feel like there needs to be more. God, why am I losing passion for this? Where is the passion going? You know, with my boutique. And that's when God started to talk to me about, no, but it's time for you to shift into making your own designs. Because of all the lack of abilities that I had at the time. I'm like, but God, I can't draw, you know? And God was like, no, but literally, right? I found an app that helped me to draw. And so no excuse, there are apps, there's Google, there's YouTube videos out there to teach us and to aid us. And so that none of us are handicapped and are unable to do what God has called us to do. when I finally shifted, you know, I had a lot of different issues with the manufacturer. I had to fire them. And by the time you look up a start over with a new manufacturer, by the time I did all that and I did the video launch, coronavirus hit. And my in Los Angeles closed. They are still closed until possibly August and maybe September. I'm still waiting so that I can move forward in the mass production. I'd already started getting pre-orders and everything, but everything with that had to, it's like but what did I do? I said, you know what? I literally went and I ordered books as if I was going to school. Because if we're real and honest with ourselves, in this moment, right? And in our businesses and in the different parts of our leadership, we are never so high and mighty to the point where we cannot learn and advance and add value to what we're bringing to the table by adding knowledge, by adding more experience through the different things like videos. Like for instance, I went and bought 3 books and I said, you know what? They may not let me in FIT, a fashion design school, because I don't have the full, you know, the things that they say you need to come into school. You got to be able to sew with a machine, draw, all those different things. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to order the books and I'm going to consume as much knowledge as I can. When this thing shifts, I'm able to apply and my value will increase as a designer. So I'm studying I'm taking a fashion design course, online course for fashion design, where I'm learning history of fashion. I'm learning different things about clothing, the way it drapes the body, the type of fabrics that's best for your body. I'm learning all that. I could have stopped. You know what? They done stopped this door, and so I can't do this anymore. But I said, you know what? In the meantime, I'm not gonna this thing pridefully as if I know everything. No, I don't know anything. Right. So now is my time to go through the school of Hard Knock Life, right? Get the books, get the free YouTube channel, because there's so many YouTubes out there. How to make a shirt, YouTube. How to make a pattern, YouTube. How to change a bicycle tire, YouTube. How to be a life coach, YouTube.
Wait. I have to interject this because listen, I hope you guys are catching what she's saying. She says she went and bought books. Everything in production, everything that had to do with her business stopped. Purpose didn't. Her mastering her craft and what God has called her to do, I don't think we understand how much that goes hand in hand, our purpose and knowledge. And the thing about God is, even in this pandemic, even when he's called us to do something, and we think this pandemic has stopped us, it's like, no, God is saying, no, don't stop. I'm giving you grace. I'm giving you grace to continue. And even in that grace, he's given us resources. And I've been saying this since this pandemic started. You do not want to waste this time of quarantine and pandemic sitting on your purpose. Just because a pandemic has hit, this is the time now more than ever to take the free course. To invest in the webinars, to invest in the boot camps, to invest in the coaches, to perfect your craft. Like I was telling over this today, I honestly believe something major, something miraculous is going to happen once this pandemic lifts. Once this lockdown lifts, there's going to be an overflow of opportunities, doors just swinging open. And for those of you who did not prepare, for those of you who did not perfect, you're going to miss opportunities. There's no, God is not, he wouldn't be God to have us in this pandemic just to have us in this pandemic. There's a purpose for this, you guys. There's a reason why this pandemic is here and it hasn't left. He's trying to get a lot of our attention. And a lot of times we think God is just so spiritual. He's not logical. Some of us, he's just saying, can you just start that business finally? And with you starting this business within a pandemic, you know what that's going to do? That's going to increase your faith in me. I'm trying to do something in you, but you're not catching it. You're not getting it. So during this time, it's like God has given us grace. He's given us resources. He's trying to strengthen us. He's trying to, make our faith stronger in him and our belief in him stronger and just undeniable. Like I loved hearing that, because I love hearing when people are taking this time. My husband just recently got his license to, educate families you know, in all aspects of finance, in credit, budgeting, you know, life insurance. Like, he has the knowledge and the tools to help families in all aspects of finances. So this is not the time, y'all, in a pandemic to sit. It's just because
any disruption to sit, because I'm telling you, right? And I hear some people saying this all the time. I can hear some people, no, but you know, I tried this, but I don't have connections. I don't have this. There's so many times I haven't had the right connection. I haven't even had $1 to my name. But you know what I did? I end up learning a new thing. I end up like doing whatever was necessary, and said, you know what? I'm not gonna take their denial or they know. When I first started my business, right? The boutique aspect, because I first started with the hand beaded shirts and then I transitioned into the boutique. Did you know I reached out to people, you know, to see, okay, how do you, I don't know what I'm doing. I see that you're successful in this. Can you give me some tips on what to do? Where do I even start when it comes to wholesaling and everything like that? Yeah. It was crickets, because some people are very insecure. No, I'm being straight up. A lot of people, a lot of times they build and they're successful, but they're insecure leaders, right? And out of that, they don't like to share or help. And so I said, you know what? You don't want to help me? I'm not going to stop short at feeling helpless and like nobody wants to help me or woe is me. No, I'm going to find the information. I'm going to do the hard lifting myself. And if it means that it's going to take me, you know, like, okay, their information would have helped me get to there quicker. If it means that me researching and doing all the heavy lifting and the dirty work will take me another 6 months, I'm going to do that. But even that, I'm going to the school of hard knocks, right? And I'm going to be able to now take what I've learned to help somebody else cross that bridge. And can I tell you the amount of people that's been in my inbox from when I first started, where I'm able to send, information. I'm not charging them like, oh, here's $5,000, you know, and pay me $5,000 and then I'll give you. No, because you know what? Even though I've went through stuff, I have the information. I want to see your life better. So this is what I did. I'm not going to do the work for you, but I'm going to give you the information. And so a lot of people, a lot of times they stop short of, you know, oh, I can't, you know, nobody wants to help me, because I hear that all the time. And, oh, I feel stuck. Find a way. And when you go through the school of hard knock, then you are a professor in this thing and you can teach. And no, it's a motivating factor, because now you're able to take those bad experiences, those mistakes, and you could help teach the next generation and help teach those who, you know, who don't know what they're doing to come on out. So now you become a source or a resource for somebody else. So it's not wasted, but we don't have no excuses of why we're stuck. So what? So and so don't want to help you. So what? Oh, they won't let you in the school. You know, they won't let you do this. So who are they? Number one.
Keep going.
You know, you have to keep going. You have to find a way somehow. Like I said, I have my books. You know, I spent over $100 and something for these 3 books. And I've been reading, studying, taking notes, you know what I mean? So that when I am presenting my product to you, I'm not presenting from a ignorant standpoint. And then number 2, when you research and you add value to the things that you know about and the things that you're called to do, guess what? You'll end up avoiding certain mistakes. When I would buy fabrics and stuff like that, right? Because I had no idea about fabric. I'm just buying, you know, after you buy it, you're like, wait a minute, this is breathable. This is not comfortable. Had I done the studying beforehand, I would have known, and that I wouldn't have to pay for that mistake. So right now in this season, what is it that you can do in order to enhance the value of what you're bringing to the table, as far as what you're selling, as far as your value in what you're presenting? So people are like, whoa, I need this. And so and also, what mistakes are you literally erasing as a matter of fact of you building yourself now? You know, because there are certain ignorant mistakes we'll make when we don't educate ourselves properly and we don't answer ourselves and we don't add more value to ourselves through the way that we're studying and we're adding to our knowledge about the thing that we're trying to present to the world. So we don't got no excuses. you know?
None. Whether it's action, no matter how you look at it, across the board, it's action. Whether you are actually still working a full-time business, or you have to educate yourself and master your craft, you have to take actionable steps. You cannot remain stuck. You got to keep going. You have to. And like I said, there's resources. You have people that you can reach out to. You guys have met somebody new that you can reach out to. You can reach out to Nova. You know, there's just never any excuse. And we can never say, okay, God, I didn't have the tools. Okay, God, I would have walked in my purpose, but I didn't have the resources. You know, and God's gonna be looking at you like you telling a whole fib, a whole lie.
Exactly. And I coined this this sentence, you know, just a few days ago. I was like, this sentence came to my mind. If you cannot build right now, then gather the tools. At least
that's good.
The tools, right?
Get the tools.
So, you know, you're coming up to build a home, but you don't got your hammer yet, you know?
Right.
You don't have
tools
to dig the foundation. So take this time. If you cannot build right now, with all the standstills and with all the different, you know, restrictions going on, gather your tools right now.
Gather your tools.
Enhance yourself right now. You have no excuse, you know? And yes, there are a lot of psychological things going on with people, you know? Mentally, a lot of us are going through, you know, there's a lot of people who are encountering lots of depression, you know, right now in this season. There are people who are going through suicidal thoughts and never went through suicidal thoughts, you know. So, you know, I'm not going to, we're speaking of this, but to address that portion, when it comes to purpose, I'm telling you, because I found myself going in a downward spiral when this thing, you know, after the second month, I was like, but guess what I was doing? I was saturating myself with a lot of garbage in the media, a lot of the Facebook feeds, you know, going through people's comments, eating popcorn. You know, when you see the post and all the comments, and you're like, oh Lord, this world is going down a rabbit hole. You know, you follow that rabbit hole while you eating popcorn, reading comments. When you know, if you saturate yourself and you you pay so much close attention to all the negativity, that will bring you down into a hole. But once I started shifting and said, you know what? Let me turn this off and let me focus on, you know what, God did give me a purpose. And he spoke this to me right before this thing started. And so God is not a man that he lied. He's not wishy-washy. He knew this was coming. So the fact is, the situation doesn't change his plan and his purpose and the fact that all these things are going to come to pass. So you know what, let me build on, let me retrain my eyes. Let me focus now. Right. Once I did that, all the anxiety and everything fell off. And I became like so laser focused. So to you who are feeling anxious, and maybe that has been the thing that has been stopping you or causing you to go into that shell and not being able to have the energy. Because one thing with depression is it strips you and you're like low energy. In order to move forward and to do, try to shift your focus from negative stuff. Turn off all the trash and the negativity, and then start feeding your mind and your eyes. You know, big things. Start feeding your eyes. You know, the Word of God. Start worshiping and start focusing on the very thing that you are building, and focus on what you're called to build. You know, and I'm telling you, that depression and that anxiety will drop off, and you'll start like a forward acceleration, because remember, acceleration means three things. It's either slowing down, it's either going fast, or changing directions. You know, so it's not just you get what I'm saying. So in this time, so that you can speed up, because now you're dropping the dead weight, the things that mentally keep us down and mentally have us in the shell and mentally have us where we can't get out of the bed and mentally has us where, you know, we feel immobile and paralyzed, you know, because we're so focused, we have magnified by what we're staring at, you know, all these crazy things, you know?
Absolutely. And that's purposed in a pandemic. You cannot stay I recently had to like go through my friends list, and you know, I made my social media a place of positivity. You know, so if you don't exemplify that, if you are a toxic person, you know, I had to get rid of, you know, some things and some people, you know, when it comes to being purposed. And I think that's so huge, is being focused, is remaining focused. We can get so distracted with everything that's going on. We can get so distracted with fear. And it's not that we're just sitting at home, you know, doing nothing and, you know, watching Netflix and stuff. Some of us are really distracted by fear. Fear has a grip on a lot of us. And a lot of us don't know how to shake that. A lot of us don't know how to deter from that and walk in, you know, godly confidence, right? You have to shift your focus. If you are walking in fear and if you are living in fear, you have to shift your focus to God, because within yourself, you can't do anything. You're thinking about your incapabilities. And when you shift your focus to God's infinite wisdom and grace and mercy, there's a confidence that comes over you, right? And especially as Christian entrepreneurs, we have to stay focused. I'm telling you, the moment we lose focus, the enemy creeps in. He creeps in with every kind of thought imaginable. Fear, doubt, I mean, it just lack, all of this, just not being able to surrender.
Sometimes you could be focused, but then I noticed this, where you can start off being so focused, but the same old trick that he uses is a disruption so that you could lose the focus. So like, it's almost like, you know, if you're riding on a bicycle and you fall over, you get what I'm saying? Your first reaction is, you know? And so he throws all these different, and so you're no longer like, here I'm on this bike, you know? You're focused on this rock, number one, that came in your path that made you trip, like, oh, this rock, you know? And then you start focusing on the bruises and bangs and all those different things. You get what I'm saying? I know that's like a random analogy, but literally, some of us, we started off focused, but what happens is the enemy also throws different distractive tools. So like, and I was talking about this like maybe a few weeks back, where you could be like believing God for overflow and prosperity, like, oh, God is about to do something new in my life, or my business is about to take off, and you know, my bank account will never be this dry ever in a day in life. And then all of a sudden, everything imaginable happens. All of a sudden, the tires, you need 4 new tires. Like, wait, that's
4 of them.
Yeah, $1,000. Well, where am I supposed to get that from? The refrigerator breaks down, and this is based on a true story, okay, of things that has happened personally, you know, where you're like, you know, oh, I'm gonna use this money to go towards this, and all of a sudden these distractive things come and to steal your focus, so you're so down, like, man, and then you start uttering words and making words. Like, man, every time I take 10 steps forward, I take 55 steps back, you know, and you start saying these things and prophesying over the situation, when that's all the devil, he wanted you to come into agreement with your mouth with what was happening, when what you just shake it off, like, no, I'm rising up from this. And so we have to be aware of, number one, you know, where we give our attention to, but also when disruptions come, we have to be aware to not give into the disruption and not to allow ourselves to be veered off in the distraction, but to have your eyes set like flint, like, I don't care what happens. I don't care what I do, but my eyes are set. I'm going to do this thing. Oh, tires, you want to go out? I guess I'm going to have to walk, you know? If I need to walk for a few days, that's what I'm doing. If I'm taking the bus,
it's going to happen.
But I'm doing what I got to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So set, your eyes set like a flint to fulfill whatever it is, whatever your purpose is, and not allowing the things that the devil, he throws. It's like, this is like spiritual warfare 101. Right? Anytime you're progressing, he comes and he throws all kinds of stuff, so you can take your eyes from here and stop the forward movement into the things that were going to spring you out into your purpose, right? So Let's talk.
This is I told you
in this convo. Let me see what the comments are saying.
I told you this was going to have a shift
Yeah, because like I said, I believe this is necessary talk now because there are so many people who started off focused, right? When you were there at your 2019 end of 2019, December 31st party, and you were quoting like, "Oh, this is my year. You know, I'm gonna be
my year."
all this stuff. Guess what? It's still your year. Okay, disruption does not mean that this is not your year. Disruptions do not mean that God's promises have stopped. Disruptions do not mean that, you know, the things that God told you to do will not come to pass. Disruptions are a natural part of the human experience.
Absolutely,
you know?
right.
Natural part, you know? And so some disruptions are bigger than some, like what we're going through now, but it does not mean, you know, that I'm going to align myself with those people who are like, oh, 2020 kick rocks. Look here, 2020. This year I'm seeing my vision is being sharpened because I am taking the time where it's quiet to sharpen my focus. So I am seeing clearer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, so we have to even.
You gotta see clearer.
Yeah.
You gotta have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have clarity. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I like I said, that was a very low place for me, not having clarity. And when you are walking in full purpose, things will become clear to you. Mm-hmm. Focus, distractions, all of that. God begins to give you clarity on how to remain focused during those times. So to all of you who are in this pandemic and you feel like I am at a standstill, I am at a loss, I don't know what to do, you need to first acknowledge that you need to pivot. You need to pivot. Second thing is you don't need to stay stuck. Take actionable steps. Get unstuck. You have no excuse. This is what I tell my coaching clients. I'm one of the sweetest people you ever meet. When it comes to purpose, I don't play. Okay. So I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. You have no excuse because it's a pandemic. There is no excuse to stop. Get unstuck. Keep going. Whatever you got to do. If you're planning on having a live experience where you are bringing people together, turn that thing into a digital experience. Turn it into virtual. You have the tools. You have the resources. You have the grace of God to maneuver through this pandemic and to remain purposed. And like I said, y'all, God is setting us up for when this pandemic, when this lockdown lifts. You got to be ready. We got to be in position. Like Nova said, she brought the books. She's studying because she's going to have an overflow of pre-orders and orders. And not just that, she's going to be able to teach other women how to start their own brands because of the knowledge that God has given her. And that's what purpose is all about. It's about sharing and serving. So if you're not in a position right now where you are preparing yourself to serve and to be knowledgeable, you're going to miss so many opportunities. And don't ever be in a place where God has purposed you to do something and miss the opportunity. That was one of the things I feared when God began to show me my purpose. He began to show me, you know, where he can take me and what he was going to do with my life and the lives that I was going to enhance. My biggest fear was missing the opportunity and knowing, not that I didn't have purpose and miss the opportunity, but you have a purpose and you miss the opportunity. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes, because lack of preparation many times leads you to opportunities. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
What it is that a lot of us, we're waiting for opportunities first before we prepare. But it's just like becoming a doctor. I'm not letting any person who's saying they're a surgeon to cut on me, but they've not prepared from schooling. So you are, right now is your time to go to medical school per se. Okay. And what some of us are doing, we're trying to skip to be the surgeon, you know?
Yeah.
But we're not prepared. And what happens when you're not prepared? You hurt people, you cut on people, and you destroy, you can kill people in the process with the lack of your preparation. Okay. So
physically and spiritually.
Yes, you can, you know, and so that is why this time and this season is vital. And this time and this season, as God is tugging at you, and this is for those who feel the tug but have been not moving forth with the tug. You understand what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is that if you don't prepare now, you run the risk of damaging somebody along the way, or being disqualified from the whole thing, because when you go to take the test, you get it's F, because okay, wait, you're supposed to learn all these different things in order to be able to carry the weight of this thing. And right now, what God is saying, right now, you're the skill level and the different things that I'm calling you to do, you're right here. But I'm trying to get you to right here. And I'm not talking about the fact that God breathes in us, because God breathes in us supernaturally to do things, you know, that we are not necessarily capable of. So I'm not talking about that you know, without the Holy Spirit. No, we need the Holy Spirit, and God can take us to places that we never dreamed of. But there is still a onus on us to prepare, to allow God to do necessary things, to partner with Him, so that we can get from right here, you know, so our capacity, flimsy arms can go from here to being able to carry the weight that He is really and truly, you know, wanting us to have, and the things that He has prepared for us. Okay. So the point is prepare. And then like for instance, you know, let's say, you know, you're called to speak, right? And I'm talking to myself, because for a while I wouldn't even go live. You understand? I just started like maybe a month ago going live on Tuesdays, right? Because I know I'm called to speak. I know I'm called to build the lives of women. I said, you know what? I'm uncomfortable with this, but I'm going to step out. So for some of you who are like, okay, you know, you're called to speak, right now, you should be practicing, working on your speaking skills, looking in the mirror, working on
get on
your own voice, diction, and phonetics and speech class with yourself. You understand me? So what I'm trying to say to you is, there's certain doors that won't open until we are prepared.
Until we're prepared. Come on.
And it won't, you know, because God is not going around throwing around wasting His favor, saying, okay, I'm gonna give it to you, but He knows you're gonna waste it. He know you're not gonna be prepared. He know you're going to you know, fumble because you didn't prepare when you should. So this is not to scare anybody, you know, this is out of love. Like in this time, in this season, prepare, so that God, the doors that God has set, the prophecies that He's given to you that's seemingly delayed. Some of them is not delayed because, oh, it's a lying prophet that told you. Some of these things is because you have not taken responsibility to do the necessary things required for these things to come to pass. You understand what I'm saying? Some things are, your participation is a very key to the door unlocking. You participate. You doing the necessary work.
Doing the work.
And like I said, that's I'm talking to me while I'm talking to you, because like I said, I literally just started doing lives a month ago, and I was petrified of talking live, because I was like, man, I say too much when I'm, you know,
me
you
too.
know, people gonna be looking and be like, what's she doing on here? Man, you know, I don't want people in my business, all of those different things. But when I realized, okay, you know what? I want all of what God has for me, and not some. I want the entire package deal of what God has for me, and not the permissible things. I want the perfect things of God for me. You know what, God? I'm going to come into agreement with what you already said, and I'm going to prepare. I'm going to do very simple, logical, tangible things, because not everything is spiritual, right?
That's right.
These are like praying and fasting, you know, so you could kill that fleshly part of you. But then there are the natural things, you know, and sometimes you chalk up God and the processing and purpose into this overly spiritual thing. No, there's some natural things to it, and some doors will not open until the muscles become stronger, until your shoulders become more broad, so you can lift this thing. You get what I'm saying?
There's a question from Gabrielle Scott. Are you still on, Gabrielle?
Oh, that's Gabrielle Scott. Yes, where's she?
Gabrielle Scott, are you still here? I mean, even if you're not, maybe someone who's watching who had the same question, but she said, how do I keep my faith? Faith is like a muscle, right? So anytime you want to strengthen that muscle, you got to work it out, right? It takes some endurance. It takes some type of special, maybe cardio, some type of special strengthening techniques that will strengthen that muscle. And that's all that faith is. Faith is literally strengthening that muscle, because faith is hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every day is a faith day, okay? Entrepreneurship is a faith walk, literally. There are months where I'm like, oh Lord, okay, where are my clients going to come from? Oh Lord, what's the next step? But I have to literally trust and exercise that muscle. So what does that mean? That workout that's going to strengthen my faith that may mean I have to do a fast. I may have to get in my word more. I may have to pray more. And in those moments, God is speaking, he's comforting, he's reassuring. And in those moments, you have to, even when you don't see it happening, you don't see how it's going to happen. It's okay, Lord. I know you're going to do it. I believe it. And it's also just leaving it with him, because that's another thing. We sit and pray and we say, okay, Lord, I believe you, but we carry it and we hold it and it's like this, and it's like, we got to release it. So it's strengthening that muscle, that faith muscle, and whatever that strengthening muscle for you may be. It may be getting in your word. And we know the things that we lack, that our faith is weakening, because we're probably not getting closer to him on a daily basis. We're probably not getting in our word as we should. We probably aren't fasting like we should. Myself, I love food, so this is a struggle for me. So those moments where we have to strengthen that faith muscle is going to be uncomfortable, but those are the times where you're going to hear God more, and that's where he's going to reassure you, and your faith becomes stronger. The more you do it, the more you trust him, the more he gives you the faith, and you continue to do it, and you continue to do it, and you just keep working at it. But I know it's hard, especially during a pandemic, but you, especially as Christian entrepreneurs, you have to work out that muscle, that faith muscle. Get uncomfortable.
I was gonna add too, because sometimes, we spend time with God and we do the worship, we read our word, right? But there's some other factors that can nick at your faith. So there are times where we're believing for big things. Like, for instance, everything that I've done in the past till now, it required faith. I didn't know how it was going to come to pass, because I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the full ability at the time when I first received the word. Even when we bought our first home in Houston, Texas, we didn't even have all the money, but we knew, okay, that's the house. And basically God, literally when we decided to take the step, he started adding to us, because we were in agreement with what he said we could have. Okay. So sometimes, as you are listening to the word and you're feeding yourself that, you have to cut off naysayers and cut off the people who have poisoned your well, or continue to poison your well, and continue to cause you to think small or feel small, or cause you to doubt. Okay. So for me personally, some of the action steps that I've had to take has been and I'm not with this whole cancel culture, like you canceled, I'm not with that. But when I see that God is doing something and I'm focused on getting something accomplished, that I know it's gonna take all this and God and all my focus, I then set very high boundaries where there's a defining separation between me and certain people, where they have access to even speak to me or speak into me or to speak negatively.
Right.
Whether it's the spirit of gossip, because it could be even the fact that the person, they may not even be negative towards you, but it's a negative spirit that they're just negative people, and they're always talking about people. I've had to literally, when I am believing for something big and when I'm building something, which is most of the times, I'm in building mode, I've had to literally, and I remember one time I was like, okay, I'm going to go through a detox party. And one of my friends like, detox? I said, yes, I'm going through the list of all the different people that I continuously give my energy to. And if there's a sign of activity that is poisoning this well, You gotta go. In this season, I'm setting this boundary, and I'm not. I can't talk to you like I used to talk to you. And yes, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but do I want God's purpose more, or do I want to settle in this valley of dry bones? I don't want to stay where I'm at or stay where you're at. You know what I'm saying? So I will do whatever is necessary, which is to starve those voices that come through people, you know, because we have to understand this too all throughout our life, right? We have gone through so many different things, from the seeds that the enemy has planted to disrupt us and to have us thinking small of ourselves. And because of that, I don't need surround sound. Number one, the voices in my head that tell me you can't do it, coupled with another person who's negative, that's surround sound. I don't need two voices telling together telling me what I can and cannot do. So in order for me to build faith, right, and keep in faith, I have to silence and starve those negative things, no matter where it's coming from. And I've gone through seasons. I'm not just telling you this like, you know, like it's some quote and fancy quote to tell you, but this is something I've had to live through. I've had to walk through seasons alone, where alone is just me and God. I've had to walk through times where it's like, oh, you know, people are feeling rejected as a result of me cutting them off, or not necessarily cutting them off, but distancing myself and distancing the access that they have to me, where they don't have the full access that they used to, because I'm protecting something, okay? My purpose, my God purpose, not just my thing, but my God purpose is so important, it's so potent. It's a generational curse destroying thing, okay? It's a burden breaking, chain shattering thing, and that's the type of thing that we all carry in us. And because there's so much at stake, I'm sorry, okay? There are lives that are in my future that's waiting on me. There are people that need what God is building in me, and right now, you know, I can't do it right now, okay? So you may be mad with me right now, but my purpose and the things that God has for me to do and build are way more important right now. It's very necessary, very necessary. So yeah.
Right. Listen, y'all, we can do this all night, okay? And the fact that y'all still here, y'all can do this all night too. But yes, I see your comment, Gabrielle. I'm gonna reach out to you as well. But yes, girl, you gotta give it over to him, and you gotta let it go. When you pray, give it over to him. Let that thing go, surrender it to him, and you go to sleep. You go to bed. He doesn't sleep, so it's no need for both of us to be up. Exactly. If he doesn't sleep, it's no need for me to be up either. So yes, but sis.
All right, so let's what are you up to now, Shemaiah? What you have an event coming up on starting tomorrow? So share that with some of the ladies, and maybe somebody on here may want to register in time for your event.
Yes. Okay, so you guys we've been talking about purpose and how God has shifted me. So recently I launched my mentorship and coaching program, and through that, God was telling me that I am to help women build purpose and profitable lives. And that also means that I am helping women build, start, and grow their businesses. And one of the things, especially as Christian entrepreneurs, that we have to understand about entrepreneurship is that the enemy hates it. Because what we're doing is we are crushing generational curses of poverty, of the mindset of being impoverished, right? So in this season, God gave me a specific assignment of helping women start and grow their businesses. So I have an amazing Get to Business boot camp. It is a 2-hour intensive. So literally, you are getting everything you need to start your business, to start and grow your business. And we are giving you actionable tools that you can implement now. One of the things I don't like when I go to events, you know, and it's a boot camp, it's like, okay, well, how can I use this now? So we are giving you actionable steps that you can start implementing in your business now, that you can start with your business right now. And I'm so excited about it. Myself and my business partner, so you get 2 business coaches. We are sharing everything we have.
And is this
in
professor,
those 2 hours.
business professor?
Yes, and her name is Monica Stockhausen.
Yes.
She's amazing. She is a business professor. Y'all gonna love her. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna love her. So we are presenting this boot camp. It starts tomorrow. It is July 16th and July 18th. It's 2 dates, same information. We just wanted to make it available for those who can make it on Thursday and those who can make it on Saturday. And tomorrow it starts at 6 p.m. Saturday is at 11 a.m. The price actually went up to $125. We started at $97, but it has increased to $125. But this is what I'll do. For all of you who want to sign up tonight, who are serious about walking in their purpose, starting their businesses, if you sign up tonight, I will give you the discount code for you to take the boot camp at the $97, okay? But you have to type in the chat, in the comments, type in discount, so I know who you are, and I will personally reach out to you and send you that discount code, okay? So type discount if you want to sign up tonight. You have to use the code tonight, okay? Tonight. Tonight, and you will get it for $97.
Put in the comments your link.
Put in the comments discount, and I will reach out to you personally, send you that discount and that link. And listen, some of y'all been waiting for the sign.
Put it in the comments anyway. Put your link in the comments anyway. Because
okay.
Later on, that may miss it, and it's all the way tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's Saturday or something like that. So put it in the
comments.
That they could,
but some of you, this is the time. We've been talking about being in preparation. You have the resources. You have the women who are not afraid to share their resources and their knowledge. I'm that girl, and even my business partner, even Nova. I've gone to Nova when I started my business, like, hey girl, I didn't even know her. I think that's how we met. I just reached out to her and I was like, so how did you start your business? And she gave me the run. Yes. From beginning to end. And I've literally connected with women like that, because that's how I am. You know, I love putting other women on. Look, y'all been trying to start that business, even you males. I'm not just talking to women either, but you men who are starting businesses, God has given you God ideas. You need to be at this boot camp as well. So if you need to discount, type it in the comments, discount, and then I'll reach out to you and get it to you, and sign up tonight. And I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And I'm leaving the link right now.
They put the link in there. Okay, awesome. For those who maybe
yes.
And they could just click the link, and also because it's good to put the link there so that they can also just go visit your website, you know, to see the different things that you have available. You know, they could subscribe to keep in contact, you know, and just keep with everything that you are doing. Amen.
Absolutely.
I pray that this blessed you all. You know, everyone join. You know, thank you for joining me. For those who were with me last night with the live, you came back. It was like a conference. You understand me?
And y'all stayed the whole time. Look at y'all.
Exactly. I appreciate you guys. You know, but we literally came on because you know, I like I said, you know, there's so many of us who are going through a lot in this season who need the encouragement, and sometimes you need somebody to come along and give you words of encouragement, to give you that kick, like, come on now, like to drag you up off that couch, you know. So this was a figurative pull up off the couch. This was a figurative pull the blinds off your face.
It's go time.
Open the blinds, let the sun come in, you know. And like a coach, right? So we love you all. Remember, if you're interested, you could put what they put in the comment, discount in the comment, or check her out. Head over to her website as well. So you're watching the rebroadcast. And by the way, for those watching the rebroadcast, okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this time. See you again next Tuesday for Power of 3 Nuggets. Okay, that's the next time.
I love you guys. I love you, sis.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.